Okay, hello everybody. How are we today?
I'm fine.
Fine.
That's
fine.
good.
I'm good too.
That's good to hear, everybody. So, we're going to continue on talking about defining our audience or identifying our audience. And we're going to focus on a few more of the different things we need to consider when we think about who we're going to write for. So the first thing is, who remembers what we mean when we say our audience? What does that mean when we talk about our audience? Tom? Maxi?
Audience means that someone listening to us or read something that we write.
Very good. Our audience is who is going to be reading what we're writing. So, sorry, just reading through my documents here. And the next question is, why is it important? Excuse me. Why is it important to know who our audience is? Why is that important? Tom?
Yes, so we need to know our audience to find the way or type of pursuing.
Very good. We need to know who our audience is so we can try to persuade them better. And so we can try to speak the language that they use. Very good, guys. Now, hello, Mary. So, what are some things that can make up an audience for us? What are some of the things that trying to think about how to word that question better. What are some of the factors that can make our audience? So some of them might be different ages. What are some other things that might make our audience different? So they could be young, they could be teenagers, they could be adults, they could be old people. What other things can make our audience? Not camera. So our audience can be different ages. So they can be children, teenagers, adults or elderly people? What's something else that can define our audience? I think I'm coming down with a bit of a cold today. Mary, what's something else that can define our audience?
Different native speakers.
Pardon?
Different native speakers.
Ah, good. So what language they speak? Very good, Mary. Tom, what's your idea? How can our audience, how can we define our audience?
What they like.
Good. What they like. Their interests. Very good. G'day. Can we think of anything else that might change our audience or might define our audience? Okay, so that list is really good. These are probably the most important things we need to consider. So what age they are, what language they speak, and what they like or what their interests are. So great job, everybody. Well done. Okay. So let's do a couple of examples. I'm going to go back to my whiteboard here, and our audience is, let's say our audience is football fans. So what sorts of characteristics might we use, or how would we write something to football fans? Who's got some ideas? Who's got some ideas? How might we communicate with football fans? Very good. So we would definitely want to talk about football. We might want to
You okay? Just finding a glass. A glass here.
Might want to talk about famous players. Very good.
I'll come to meet in 2 months.
Good. We might want to talk about the World Cup. We might also want to, let's have a look. The benefits of playing football. Very good. Very good. We might want to talk about football shoes or other products. Ah, very good. How they can be like the famous people. Very good. So these are lots of great ideas of things we could talk about. But now let's talk about how would we talk to these people? So how would we talk to these people?
Yeah, I spent 3 days. Then I bring you that.
Okay. So we might talk to them with more formal language. I would say that we'd actually want to talk to them with a mix of formal language versus some informal language as well. So the reason that I say that is, so mix, need to write it before I can say it. Can't do both at once. Very good, Tom. We want to be interesting. And I'll go a step further and say informative. So we want to teach these people about the sport that they love. So whether that's giving them like a newspaper report on some news that's happening with the team, so we can keep them updated about their favorite football teams, whether that's writing a profile for one of the players, so telling everybody all about their favorite players. So we want to be pretty informative with something like this. And of course, we want to be interesting too, keep people's attention. Talk about activities. Good. So we can talk about activities. Excuse me. Ooh. Good. Okay, does anyone else have any more ideas? I'll add one or two. So we want our writing to be passionate. So football fans are known for their football fans are probably some of the most fierce and loyal fans out of any sport. So we want to be really passionate when we write to football fans. We want to, we want to speak to their love of the game. And we really want to let that love for the game shine through in what we write as well. So we've got here interesting and informative as well, because football fans, they like to know everything about their favorite teams and their favorite players. So if we can help to teach them if we can teach them a lot about their favorite sport, they're going to really appreciate that. So patience, that's an interesting one. I don't think that football fans are, well, they are very patient, and they also aren't very patient, because they'll be fans of their favorite team for what's that, Tom? What does that mean?
Just like the one button on my computer is not working, so I just spam and then I try to click the space button, but I click the enter button.
Oh,
What?
no. But yes, so back to the point, football fans can be very patient. If their team isn't playing so well, they'll still continue to follow and support that team for years while they struggle, and then they finally get back into the big leagues and they start winning. And yeah, then all of that patience pays off. So maybe a bit of patient language if their team's not doing so well, to keep the support there for the team. We could do something like that. So good job, Mary. So we also want to give our readers a bit of fun, because that's why they love football so much, because they think it's fun. Good, Carl. The reasons why they became fans of football. So that could come down to, let's think of a good word. Think of a good word for that. Oh, yes. Football fans, Mary, can be very, very, very impatient when their team doesn't win. I think England is the craziest country for it, but sometimes if their teams don't win, English people used to just about start riots if their football team didn't win. But then again, they can be very patient. Oh yeah, it is completely crazy what they do. They're called football hooligans. Football hooligans, and they're the crazy people that when their team loses, they'll just start big fights and start throwing bricks through windows and all sorts of craziness. It's not very good. But they've mostly got it under control now, I think. You're not patient, Tom. Are you impatient?
Yes.
So I would say we would want to write from a position of loyalty because the teams are, the fans are incredibly loyal to their team. So why they became fans in the first place, why they stay fans. Yeah, we would want to write to that part of a football fan if we were going to write something for them. Very good, guys. You're really starting to get the hang of this. Oh yeah, and you are right, Mary. That is completely selfish behavior on the part of the football fans. So let's come up with one more type of audience. If we were going to write a persuasive piece for, what am I doing?
For
Audience.
football fans.
Nah, we just did football fans. We want to pick a different audience now.
Okay,
So-
what about kids?
Kids. Okay. So let's pick something that children are interested in. What's one of the big trends in Vietnam for children right now? What's really cool for kids right now?
I don't know.
Is there
Let me guess.
Is there a particular TV show
I
maybe?
think it's game.
Yeah.
Free Fire. Free Fire.
Video
Roblox.
games?
Minecraft.
Roblox. Okay. Grimace Shake. Have you seen some of those
Mini World.
brilliant videos that are going around where people will drink a Grimace Shake and then in the next scene they're just like laid out on the floor pretending to be dead? So funny. So kids and video games. So our audience is kids that like video games.
Kids
How-
and video game.
It was just easy to fit that on one line.
Funny.
So video games are not our audience. The children who like the video games are our audience. Okay. So let's have a look at some of these messages. So we would need to talk about the games they like. We would also need to We would also need to talk to them about games that are coming out in the future. Because if it's our job to make the
Or
kids, if it's our job to
like,
make the kids like those games, we need to start talking about those games.
or we stop them to play bad games and then play good games. Like no gunning game. That's
Well,
it.
that is one way that we could use our persuasive writing skills. Perhaps we could try to suggest that the children play a certain type of video games. And good one, Carl. Get where is it? Carl took away one of his messages, I think, but it was a
Wait,
really good
no.
one. How to play the games, so we could teach them how to play.
Board game.
No, we're talking about video games this time.
Okay. Or
So now, how would we write to these kids? Not what would we write about, but how would we write about it?
informal, use emojis because they're kids.
Good.
Hooray!
Yay! Woo! Okay, so let's have a look here. So what was that last idea that we just said?
Use emojis.
Good. So use emoji and popular slang.
Popular slang.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not really that up to date with the current slang words, but the last slang words that I remember that were popular were like, that's on fleek or that's on point and stuff like that. So all of those words that the kids are saying, you want to try and use those because that's the language that they're going to understand. Yes, Mary, what's your idea?
Use fun facts about it.
Good. So kids can be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Kids can be very,
Kids can get distracted.
they can. Curious, that's the word I'm looking for. Kids can be very curious.
So just like last time.
Yeah.
Mom, why the grass green? Because it's the color of the grass. Why the grass green? Because it's the color of the grass. But why? Stop it.
Exactly. Exactly. Although that tends to kind of stop, I think, around the ages of about
Wait,
3,
is that
4,
what
or
you
5.
sound? Is that what
But
you
yes,
sound?
yes. But
Oh no.
once children get interested in something, then they tend to really focus on that and they're really curious about it.
yeah.
So if kids like video games, they're going to want to know as much as they can about it.
Daddy.
Oh no.
That was a good idea, Zoe, that I saw. We can communicate in memes.
Italy.
I actually once
Mm.
read that there's a university in America that now offers a course on the history of memes. You can learn about memes right since when they started, and you can you can also learn about the impact that they've had on the world and on society. And yeah, it's crazy. You can become a doctor of memes or a memologist, as it were, if you go to this
Memologist.
university. That's it. You can become a memologist if you go to this one. I can't remember what uni it is, but this one university in America.
Sure.
Very good. So, that's a good one. Tom's just like, meme. So, another thing is that kids are goal oriented. So, kids, once they have a goal, they will do whatever they can to reach that goal if they're stubborn enough. And video games are the perfect example of that, because video games, they always have missions, goals, objectives to complete. And so that is a very good way to write to kids that like video games. If you write to their goal-oriented nature, give them a task to complete and show them a few pretty pictures from the game, and they'll want to play the game and pass that mission. Good, Zoe. I'm going to save this one. So, children are very social. So we could talk about making friends, playing online. Very good. Okay. So next, I would like to, so fantastic work, everybody. We're really starting to think about our audience now. And yeah, so the better that you can develop that skill and the better that you can work out who your audience is and what they want, the better you can do that, the better you'll be able to write for these people. And the better you can write for them, the more persuasive you can be. So I just want to go through your homework. So the homework task was identify 3 different possible audiences that you could write to, and tell me how you would write to each audience and point out the differences between each audience's communication style. And then find 2 examples of writing aimed at each of the audiences you chose. Who has done this homework?
What?
Who has done this homework?
Nobody.
How could you? How could you not do the homework?
Too hard.
Why did you check it?
All right, well,
It's a hard nut to crack.
I like that. It's a hard nut to crack. Okay, well,
No.
I'm going to give you a hand with it. We are going to, actually, Mary did send me in a document on the Zalo group. So Mary did do some of it, but let's go through this together. So I will share my screen.
My document is very short, teacher.
It is, but
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys how to give you a demonstration on how to do it. And then hopefully you'll have a better understanding of the homework. So first thing I'm going to do is open a new Word document.
I saw ChatGPT.
On my desktop. Okay. So I'm going to insert a table. Audience 1. Audience 2. And audience 3. So if we have a look at audience 1, for example, let's go with our kids that play I didn't ask for this. Kids that play video games. So in our first box, we would write something like things they like. So we were talking about kids that like video games are goal-oriented. Give them a task. What else did we talk about? What else did we talk about for kids playing video games?
I think that kids that like play video games will talk about more games.
That's it. Good. So tell the space bar on this thing's starting to not work. Going to give these bullet points. So, well, the first thing that we'll want to do here is to write down the things that video gamers like. And then in the second box, we would write down how to write for them. So if we just do it in this in this simple little table form, we can actually make it quite a simple task. So the things that they like, they're goal-oriented. Kids are curious about their hobbies. So if we just think of all of these little characteristics about our audience, so we really start to think about what they like. So who else has got a suggestion for me? What are things that kids that play video games like? Let's go back over that list that we did. So they're goal-oriented. You want to give them a task. You want to tell them about new video games that are coming out.
The device to play games.
Good. So kids are, well, all gamers actually, most gamers tend to be very loyal to their consoles. So if they play Xbox, they tend to only like Xbox. If they play PlayStation, they tend to only like PlayStation. Or if they play on their, in about 10 minutes time, Mary. Good. Good, Carl. I just saw your other message there, what they get from the games. So how to write for them, tell them the benefits. This space bar is really just deciding to not work today. So tell them the benefits. Tell them the benefits of playing the game. Okay, so the best order to do this in is actually to start off by making a list of the things that they like and their characteristics. So we know that kids that play video games, they're goal-oriented. You want to tell them about new video games coming out, especially sequels. So if they've got this Call of Duty game, they're definitely going to want to get the new Call of Duty game coming out in a month or two. So we're going to want to try and talk to them about that. We know that kids are curious about their hobbies. They want to learn as much as they can about it. They're very loyal to their consoles. So whichever video game machine they use is the best and all the others are rubbish. And they're usually very loyal to their favorite games. So you get these kids that are absolutely obsessed with like Fortnite or Roblox or Minecraft or Call of Duty. Okay. So once we've got a list of these characteristics that they like, we can start to put together our list of things to, like ways to write to the kids. So we would want to use, for example, exciting language. So we'd want to use exciting language. good. Very good. Funny emojis. Emojis and slang words. So we're going to want to give them some, I suppose I would call it backstage information. Like I'm a very big wrestling fan, for example. I love WWE. And one of the things that most wrestling fans really care about is they like to know what's going on backstage, like who the wrestlers are friends with and what they talk about backstage and all of the business decisions that are made about the wrestling show. Like fans really like to know stuff like that. So I'd say anything about the making of the game, could be very interesting to them. So give them all the news about their favorite video games. Yeah, so we could do interesting facts about the game. Very good.
What the game helped us to do.
Yes, very good. So we can talk about the benefits of playing the game. Very good. So that's just an example there about how you might discover your audience or learn a bit more about your audience. So just doing things like that. Starting off by writing down a list of things that they like. And then you can go into figuring out how to write for them to best try and reach them and persuade them. So, did I show you guys the Hogwarts Legacy trailer in our last lesson? Was that you guys?
What? What
Did I show-
Hogwarts? What?
Did I show you guys a trailer for the Hogwarts Legacy video game in our last
No.
lesson? No, okay.
But I did know about Hogwarts.
Very good. So Tom's just sending me like 1,200 messages going, no, 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 no. So apparently I didn't send it to you. So what I'm going to do now is just show you. I'm going to send you a link in the chat box to watch this trailer. I can't actually show it on the screen because it'll get this lesson.
Yay!
It'll get this lesson flagged
Yay!
and it'll get taken offline.
Yay!
Okay, so this video is only 2 minutes long.
Yay!
I don't see how talking about a croissant would be considered interesting language unless you like baked goods.
A croissant? Have
Yeah,
you
so
ever
this is-
eaten a croissant?
I have eaten a croissant. I love croissants. I love the taste of them, but I wouldn't consider talking about croissants to be particularly interesting.
What are you drinking, teacher?
It is a pineapple and mango flavored cordial.
That's
So
a big bottle.
it is, but that's going to last me all day.
Oh.
So I've sent you guys a video link in YouTube for the Hogwarts Legacy trailer. I want you all to click on that and just watch it now. And then we'll spend the last couple of minutes talking about that in class before we wrap up. So I'll see you guys in about 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so
finished.
hopefully
It's look
Good.
like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
it is. Well, it's
But-
actually the same school that Harry Potter went to. Harry Potter's just not in this story.
Con học với đèn này. Vừa nói được
Really?
cái này.
But
No,
so
that
just
was
so as we can see, that video game trailer, and that can be considered a piece of persuasive writing, because somebody had to write the script for that trailer.
but that's
So-
not real. That's not real.
I know it's not real, but it's a real video game that's going to be released. So we have to persuade people to get excited about it and want to buy the video game and play it. So what are some of the things that we noticed about that video game trailer when we watched it?
Use good talks and good pictures.
That's right. So there was a lot of very exciting things happening in the video. So they were using magic and fighting dragons, and
They were fighting mysterious creatures.
that's
But I know-
right. So
But I
that
know
there was a lot of, sorry, go on.
but I know some of the name of that creatures because I read it.
Very good. Well, so that's another thing that this trailer does. So we have lots of exciting videos to watch of all the magic and all of the mysterious creatures, all of the explosions, big fights happening. As Zoe pointed out, and as Mary just said, it's a lot like Harry Potter. So this is actually a video game from the Harry Potter universe, but it's just that Harry Potter is not in the game. So they would be trying to persuade Harry Potter fans or fans of magic and witches and wizards. They would be trying to persuade them to buy the video game. So what else did we notice? There was the music in the trailer was very exciting. So it started off nice, and there was a hippogriff in there. Very good, Mary. So they had the music started out nice and quiet and soft at the beginning of the video. And then when the more exciting things started to happen, like the explosions and fighting the creatures, the music started to grow and swell, and it got more dramatic. So that can be another technique to use, or something to point out about the video, was how they use the music. What else did we notice?
The character design and the character design.
Very good. So the character design and the overall graphics of the video game too. So just how good that video game looked. So that is what I would like you to, so that example that I showed you about how to write that little table with the things that your audience likes, and then how you would write for them. I want you guys to keep working on that homework. 3 different audiences. I want you to make that table for me. And yeah, tell me what your 3 chosen audiences like, and and how you would write to them. And then try and find a couple of examples and post the link to those examples in your table, so I can have a look at what you think would be a good fit for those audiences. So I'm going to put that in your Zalo group again today. Well done, everybody. I'll see you guys on Friday. Good job.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye-bye.